Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, make sure to subscribe down below, turn on notifications. You can also follow me on Twitter at SuperHypeDC. The link to my profile is in the description of this video. And I've also been including the links to the Autumn Snyder AFSP fund page. You can donate there and support that as well. And don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like this video. So, Patty Jenkins was recently on an interview on Real Blend with Sean O'Connell and his colleagues. The full interview is not going to be dropped until today, at the time of making this video, Thursday. But yesterday, there was a portion of the interview that they shared, and also in an article on Cinema Blend to share, which shared her thoughts on the theatrical version of Justice League and how that related to, Wonder Woman, which of course she directed Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 84 that's going to be released in about a week and a half from now. So this is the first time that she's really shared like her honest, unfiltered opinion what I would say is unfiltered, about the theatrical version of Justice League. So Sean O'Connell asked her if she watched the theatrical cut of Justice League to see how Gal Gadot's Diana Prince was handled. So she said, the Justice League? No. I think that all of us DC directors tossed that out just as much as the fans did, but also I felt that version contradicted my first movie in many ways and this current movie, which I was already in production on. So then what are you going to do? I was like, you would have to play ball in both directions in order for that to work. The only thing I have done and have always tried to do is I knew when Zack was doing Justice League where she sort of ends up, referring to Diana, Wonder Woman. So I always tried, like, I didn't change her suit because I don't want to contradict his films, But yet I have to have my own films, and he's been very supportive of that. And so I think that Justice League was kind of an outlier. They were trying to turn one thing into kind of another, and so then it becomes, I don't recognize half of these characters, I'm not sure what's going on. So she also said it was hard seeing Diana depicted in Justice League in a way that didn't line up with how she envisioned the character. So, I mean, her and Zack Snyder have made, their support for each other very obvious, very apparent. Zack has said plenty of times how proud he is of Wonder Woman, which he produced the first one, and, what they're doing with Wonder Woman 84. And she's always shown her support for him as well. I mean, she used the Hans Zimmer score in the first movie, and now Hans Zimmer did the entire score for Wonder Woman 84. And like she said, she didn't want to change her suit. She wanted to, have some consistency between the way Zack introduced Wonder Woman and her own movies, but at the same time have her own identity as a director and a filmmaker with the Wonder Woman films, right? So, and that's understandable, but it's obvious how she felt about what happened ultimately to Zack Snyder's Justice League. And she makes an interesting point when she says that when he was doing Justice League, Zack Snyder, she knew how it was going to end up for Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. But then pretty much everything got changed. And so that's when she was saying, like, it contradicted both my movies, the first one and this one. And she didn't just stop with Wonder Woman. She also said that these other characters, she's like, they're not even recognizable anymore, So, also I like how she pointed out us DC directors. So to me, that kind of, points to two things. One, it seems like she's not including Joss Whedon in that as a DC director. And it seems like she's not only talking about herself, but like the other directors that have done solo, like, are doing other DC movies for me. Maybe she's talking about James Wan, Andy Muschietti, who's doing The Flash. I mean, it seems she said she made it plural. She didn't just say myself. She's saying us DC directors. So it seems like she's, kind of sharing maybe how all of them felt about what happened with Justice League. But I know I read her quote, but I also want to play the clip because I like, it sounds better hearing it come from that individual person and hearing how they express it. And so let's go ahead and take a listen to that clip.
How does it connect? Where does it weave in to Justice League and the movies that came before it?
Yeah.
Knowing what happened on Justice League, did you even go back and take a look at the theatrical cut to see how Gal was handled in that to make this match at all? Or do you really just think it's in universe with yours?
The Justice League?
The one that hit theaters.
No, I think that all of us DC directors tossed that out just as much as the fans did. But also I felt that version contradicted my first movie in many ways, and this current movie, which I was already in production on. So then what are you going to do? I was like, you would have to play ball in both directions in order for that to work. So the only thing I've done and tried to always do is when I knew when Zack was doing Justice League, sort of where she ends up. And so I always tried, like, I didn't change her suit because I never want to contradict. I don't want to contradict his films,
Sure.
But yet I have to have my own films, and he's been very supportive of that. And so I think that that Justice League was kind of an outlier because I don't know, they were trying to turn one thing into kind of another. Then it becomes like, I don't recognize half these characters. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah. It must have been strange to see a character who you helped envision and bring to life, Well, I don't know if you even saw it, but it was unusual.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard.
Okay, so you can tell that she's very, she's being honest. She was passionate about what she was saying as far as, she seemed like it was just as frustrating to her to see what happened with Justice League. And like she said, us DC directors tossed that out just as much as the fans did. So it seems like they didn't feel any differently than we did. And being directors and filmmakers themselves, they could probably, sympathize with Zack a lot because they wouldn't want that done to their movies. And a similar situation happened with David Ayer in Suicide Squad. It was different. They didn't bring in a different director to finish his movie or to do reshoots, but they essentially just let him film the movie and then kicked him out of the rest of the process and took it from there, right? So I'm sure they sympathized with Zack a lot and were like, I wouldn't want this done to my movie. Working with the same studio, I'm sure it was nerve-wracking. Like, are they going to do this to my movie as well? Like, is this going to happen to me too? It seems like it was one of the reasons or the main reason really, why Ben Affleck stepped away from the Batman project. It was not because, I couldn't crack the script. We know that he had probably the best Batman script that's ever been written. If you want to know more about that as well, Joe Manganiello shared lots of interesting, deep details about the original Batman script with Ben Affleck, so you can head over to my channel and watch that video also. But it just shows that this had such a ripple effect across, other directors and filmmakers doing these DC movies, and I'm glad that she's showing her support for Zack Snyder. Like I said, they have both been very supportive of each other. It seems like they will continue to be moving forward, and pretty interesting what she said. So yeah, it's not just the fans who were affected by this, other filmmakers were as well. And I'm sure probably even there's been other directors and filmmakers and creators like, what's his name? The guy who does Deadpool. Let me look up his name real quick. Yeah, Robert Liefeld? I knew it was in my head, but I want to make sure I got it right. He's shown a lot of support for Zack Snyder, for the Snyder Cut. So we see that, other filmmakers, other people in the industry, actors, not just fans, have, shown their support for this. And, I'm sure they feel it, like I said, on a personal level, they wouldn't want that done to their work either. Important thing to mention is that since she said all us DC, directors tossed that out as much as the fans did, it seems like they're not going to refer to the theatrical version of Justice League as canon, I guess you would say, for their characters individually moving forward. Again, like James Wan for Aquaman, Andy Muschietti for The Flash. If we ever finally get a Cyborg movie, a third Wonder Woman movie, Superman, hopefully, so I think that's a pretty significant point that was made in her comment. And even though, like, we haven't seen specific quotes like that necessarily from those other directors, it seemed like she was pretty confident in including them in that description of how, they feel moving forward with their individual characters. So that's pretty significant to think about, that seems like they want to refer back to, kind of base their characters off of what Zack Snyder laid the foundation for. Of course, they're all going to take them in their own direction, like she said, personally, but that's still going to be the foundation of which their characters are based off of. And so I'm glad to hear her support for that, and to see that she was not on board with the way they depicted Diana and Wonder Woman in Justice League. I don't know who was. So very interesting comments. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Head over to my channel to see any videos that you've missed in the past few days. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Link is in the description. Head over to the Autumn Snyder AFSP donation fund page as well. And leave a thumbs up if you like this video. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.